Hey guys, you're listening to the Technology Podcast. We're back. I'm here with my quarantines, Jamal and Marvin.
Yeah,
How are
yeah,
you guys doing?
yeah, man.
What?
Yeah, man.
You know, my quarantines, man. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing mobile app development, specifically my journey through it. And yeah, how about we start with the 5G theory or just 5G in general? Do you guys have any thoughts on 5G?
What the hell is going on with 5G? I have not kept up to whatever everybody's freaking out about. Last thing I heard was that people were linking this to coronavirus.
Exactly.
I can't be asked.
The C
I
word.
cannot be asked for that.
Did you guys actually dig into, what people were saying, the conspiracies out there?
Haven't had time.
From the video I saw, basically, this video was like, apparently it was removed from YouTube. And there was like a certain link that you had to click on. Yeah, you had to click on. And it was shared in like, GC. So I clicked on it. And then it was just basically talking about how in China, that's like the origin. That's where 5G is heavy. Like Huawei, how would they pronounce that company? So
Huawei.
Huawei, before they crucify me, yeah, Huawei, come. So they've got established there, and that's where apparently 5G is an effect there, and it's all secretive. Apparently, because it hasn't. It's only China that is happening in like this thing that is occurring, and so apparently that's how the thing is all spreading. That apparently is sending out some signals that are affecting the human race, and it's just spreading.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's
mostly
what I used from that video.
that's mostly similar to the audio that I basically heard. The China, the Huawei stuff. I heard some reports of it going down in Italy that they've got them heavily invested in 5G, hence why cases that are bad. It's I love me a good conspiracy theory, and I love it. I love it. Can't get enough of it. But to then substantiate from that and draw a conclusion from that, it's kind of wild, right? They reckon that the cells in the skin, they're trying to fight back against all of this 5G because at the end of the day, it's ionizing radiation, and because of that, because of the body trying to defend itself, coronavirus is the then reaction. So wild stuff. All wild stuff. You don't look impressed.
Because I just don't like, bro, the amount of stuff that we apparently have around us that just radiates any form of heat and or magnetic waves or whatever that could actually harm us. It just seems like another notch to the pole. And whenever I hear it, I need to do research to fully know whatever is actually going on and what's being said. Because a lot of the time I just try and like see where everything lands before I start to fully solidify an opinion. I may have like a first thought, but really I don't know what the long-term effects of having 5G are. Really, we're just looking at how it could really affect us getting information. But other than that, like I have no idea what it's supposed to benefit us or in like anything at all. I just know that it's a new in fact, no, I literally know nothing. I'm going into this blind because as much as I hear more of negatives and the race that using 5G within or between America and China than I hear about anything concerning what 5G actually does. So hopefully we can actually have that like explained here because I'm going in blind. I'm going in fully blind.
Because you see it on social media, you see people going up to these workers. Let's say it actually isn't 5G now, but we don't actually know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You see people coming up to like workers that are just doing their job, installing things, and they're getting bashed by people. Like, oh, you see people recording them. Or why are you doing this? Why are you installing 5G? Imagine being a worker now, and then you're getting harassed. Imagine if it isn't, let's say it isn't 5G. Imagine that, fam. So it's like there's this, notion going around, 5G is the cause, I don't know.
Yeah, stress.
Will
It's
we ever
mad.
know the thing? Will we ever know? Would they just say, it's from bats? The powers that
I left and I came back. What? I had to quickly hand something over. What was that?
So basically, like what Jamal is trying to say is, there's the 5G theory, and then there's the theory that the actual coronavirus first actually started from livestock or bats. So just basically saying, will we ever actually know?
Yeah.
Well, like with a lot of stuff on this earth, no, we probably will hear a lot of rumors,
Yeah.
and we'll know the very tip. And if you really want to research, you'll find out. Like me, at some point, hopefully, I'll find out what's going on.
But with this whole notion around like this whole thing going around about 5G, like, should they still go ahead and do it? Because there's some people that are against it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like you're bringing out something now, and like half of the world is against it. Will you still go ahead? Well, they probably will still go ahead because obviously everything rolls around money. But hey,
yeah, of course. I mean, the transmission speeds, like. I watched a video of you can go on those like in your browser you can type in test my connection or whatever the site may be. This guy's speeds, his bits per sec, bro. They were crazy. They were crazy.
How much are we talking?
Yeah, I think about 2K. I'll try to link you to the video.
Where was he?
I have no idea. No idea.
Okay, because I would like to know network provider area he's in. Because if you're like in the middle of London, then sometimes your network can be a bit trash. But then the further out you, depending on the network provider and everything, it can actually be affected. So where I am, my network right now is really good, but that's because we're with Sky, and with Sky, like in certain areas, if they've got, I don't know if Sky has fiber optic, but if everything's actually set up correctly, you can have really good internet speed. So where I am right now, incredibly good. In comparison to where I was previously, which was like zone 2 London, you know what I mean, which wasn't perfect, like near the center of London. So yeah, I think it depends, but 2K, Jesus is Lord. What's that? 30 times my current speed?
It was mad, bro. It was crazy. I couldn't believe my eyes. It's too bad I didn't check the authenticity of that. Obviously, I had to prepare for other things, but if I do come across it, I'll send it over to you guys.
Okay, I want to see it. I want to see what's going on.
But what do you think it's going to have to take to just roll it out so 5G is widely available for everybody?
they need to say,
wow,
they need to come out and say that, they need to give facts that 5G is not the cause of pandemic. That they need to bring out facts. That's it. That's the only way they can save themselves right now.
Nah, because it doesn't matter how much facts you bring. If someone wants to be ignorant, they're going to be ignorant, innit? That's the thing. Like, you can bring out facts. Someone can literally logically tell you 5G does not cause X, Y, and Z, right? And they are the the governing body for that thing. And there is some fool out in the forests and fields of wherever the hell, right? Out there like, nah, the government's lying to you. And you're going to be like, okay, so I've tried to give you the information and you still don't want to be, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter. I think we don't actually know, because you're not going to eradicate ignorance. I think people will just accept it. They're gonna do it anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, technology is going to continue moving forward, whether or not everybody does or doesn't accept it. So if 5G is just a provider of improved network speeds and/or improved network speeds and data transfer, then they're going to continue doing it. Everybody's going to come up with their own conspiracy theory concerning what it is, but it's not going to change.
Yeah, and one of the major things is obviously when you're using innovative tech, you never really know the effects of that until years, decades later. So to even come out and really say that this does not lead to X, Y, Z, it's safe for everyone to use, I don't actually think we can definitively know just yet. That's my personal opinion. Yeah.
Sorry, I had to turn off the mic for a sec. I think as we do kind of wait and see, I don't think it's going to be anything too massive. I think what is it mainly for? Because I know that the idea of having, or not even the idea, the Internet of Things is something that's rapidly growing. So you having your Alexa, which is now going to involve your washing machines, doorbells, home security systems. I think some fridges are now smart fridges. mobile phones, then like literally everything is now connected. In fact, my time out before I start giving out information about myself, but thermostats as well. Yeah, I mean thermostats as well connected to the internet of things. Like there's so many different things connected to it. Is it just now expanding the horizons as to what can be connected and what information could properly be transmitted and what speeds?
I guess so, yeah. I guess so. That makes sense. You know, I'm again misinformed about that, but that would be my assumption. You know, I even saw one guy that released a product that, you know, you can control your kettle from your phone.
Why? We need to sit down and relax. Like, is there a point where technology eclipses us getting like certain forms of just menial exercise? Get up and go turn on your kettle. You don't. It's not that deep. Yeah, I mean,
like to facilitate something like self-driving cars, for example, I can see why. You know, that makes sense to me.
That's a good point, actually.
The mass spread facial recognition that they're trying to roll in, again, that makes sense to me. So again, I agree with you, Jamal. Maybe it's just a thing of money. If they want to see it widespread, they will.
I think they're gonna do that anyway. Like when you said it's a thing of money, what do you specifically mean? Like, how are you talking about them having the funding to be able to do it? Is it them working out how much it's going to cost to roll out or fully roll out 5G in this country? Is that where you're going to that?
I feel like people will still, like, for example, like obviously with phones, I've got 5, like, let's say people are trying to, they're on contract now, and, you know, the phone company is trying to upsell to them, give you 5G. That's how they're getting money.
Wait, Jamal, you're going to have to rewind. You sound like dubstep. One more time.
Who says dubstep? I said, it's like
I was just wondering.
Oh, my internet is terrible. But yeah. And the thing is that
maybe you need 5G.
Is it maybe. I don't have fiber optic in this area, Marvin. And I'm on Sky, by the way, like you. So when you said your Sky is working, I was like, really?
Bro.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just area. I don't know. I'm sorry.
The area. But I was saying, that it's money because at the end of the day, most people that are on contract, they're going to have 5G. When your contract is like, when people want to renew it, they're going to be upsold. See, we got the you can get the latest phone, and guess what? We can also give you 5G, and people will continue buying into it.
Oh, so you're kind of comparing it to like latest releases of, let's say, Apple or Samsung products. So let's say the new Samsung Galaxy, whatever, or the new iPhone ZY or whatever they want to call it next. That's a good point. All right, moving swiftly on. So yeah, mobile app development. What can I say about that? So basically, for the past, let's say maybe 5 months, I've been working with React Native, specifically React Native, no React currently, but React Native. For those of you that don't know what that is, it was a framework released by Facebook in 2015. So you can basically use React Native to create great looking user interfaces in like half the time of maybe developing using just native apps. So I guess where I first wanted to start this discussion is just maybe what you've been noticing about what these major tech companies are doing and releasing. You know, like Google have got stuff like Flutter, which is, again, similar to React Native. I don't know whether you guys have heard of it. Basically, it's hybrid mobile app development. You can use that to develop across iOS and Android. So yeah, what do you guys think? I mean, I shared a graphic with you guys earlier about what Amazon are doing and how they're across different sectors.
They are dominating.
Yeah. So what do you guys reckon about the use of hybrid apps? Are they good? Are they bad? Do you like them? Would you prefer native apps to just code in Objective-C, maybe Java for Android, and so on and so forth? Or do you like the sound of hybrid apps.
Is this a new term that just came out recently?
This is not new. Fairly new. Okay, fairly new.
Fairly new. As in, how new is new?
We have the power of the internet. Let's see. When did Google release Flutter?
Because I think it's very interesting to see how there are terms coming out, and I'm like, okay, this shows how big or vast computing is and or computer science is. Because when you're using the term like hybrid app, I'm like, okay, so we had responsive apps. We had apps that were really like web apps that can also be transferred to mobile devices. So when you're saying like, oh, hybrid app, I'm like, I have never heard that term before. No, I'm looking like solid dried fish right now. Like I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? So go on, explain it. Explain. I want to hear more. What does hybrid app mean?
All right. So to answer the question I posed earlier, Google released Flutter in 2017, so fairly new, fairly recent.
Okay.
So essentially, to give you some context, some backstory to the history of mobile app development, like you sort of have two options, right? You can either use native apps or hybrid apps. So if you want to go native, your vanilla Java, whatever you're using, you may come across things like Objective-C, Swift, iOS, or Java for Android to program native apps. Now, a benefit with native apps is it gives you more flexibility as opposed to hybrid apps where everything is released in libraries and you have things released by a component. If you can imagine how that's going to work, let's say if you see what popular apps like Twitter or Instagram are doing, they've released like a dark mode theme, right? So let's say a new release came out like dark mode. Typically what you'd find is it would be released on native apps first, and then hybrid would sort of follow behind. And that's just simply because it takes time for these developers to develop their libraries. So, you always have that lag. So a benefit of hybrid apps, you always have that flexibility. They're more responsive, they're faster. Not to say that hybrid apps are, drastically slow, but you tend to find that native apps are a lot faster than hybrid apps. What else can I tell you about them? If you want to develop native apps, normally you would probably need a higher investment, a better pool of talent, and your cost is probably going to be much, much higher. Hence why companies then, the demand for hybrid apps is then there. So let me give you an example of some hybrid apps. You've got like companies that use hybrid apps actually. Let me know if you actually knew this or not. So number one, Uber
has a hybrid app.
Yep.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, Uber. So apparently they don't. Uber actually doesn't have a lot of their own code. Most of it is just used by, let's say, it's just APIs. A lot of it just APIs.
I heard about this.
If you look into Uber, you can see it actually makes sense. So more examples of a native app include things like PayPal and Gmail. Maybe you knew, maybe you didn't.
PayPal actually does make sense, actually. PayPal makes a lot of sense. But carry on.
Right. So eventually I hope to, go on and develop and use all of these different maybe frameworks, maybe go native eventually. But I've started with React and React Native. And I'm loving it so far. A little later, I'll show you a demo of one of the features that I do love. But for now, I'll just talk you through what I have been working with and what I've found. So just to compare React Native itself, the reason why I like it is because obviously it's cross-platform development. You can write code once, and most of the code that you obviously write will be then rendered onto the screens of Android and your iOS device. So you're basically doing less work. I'll put it that way. So yeah, your code is written once and run everywhere. And you also have faster development cycles compared to native apps in React Native. What else can I tell you? So as I said, it was released in 2015. So your code can be shared across iOS, Android, and Windows. Last thing I would then say about React Native is just that it's quite, I don't know if you guys remembered when we initially first started, we did a little task where we posted our likes and dislikes. And one of my dislikes was like things like HTML. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, fam, like just knowing that I can't be bothered to just sit there for hours typing this long syntax and whatnot. I think that's where React Native has. This is what I'm going to demo as well. It has the upper hand for me on that. So basically, the way code is rendered, it's written in JSX, which is JavaScript and XML. So the code does look like HTML. I'll show you soon. And obviously you've got your CSS elements as well. So let me just do a live demo for you guys. And if you have any questions, that would be cool. And obviously building up in future, I hope to share an app with you guys for everybody listening. Hopefully hopefully you guys will allow me to do.
My guy just leaned into the mic. I will build an app for you at some point in the future.
Yes.
Then lean back.
You guys hear that, yeah?
All right, guys, I'm going to demo for you what I like about React Native specifically, actually. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And we're going to go to my terminal. So I've actually already downloaded everything that we needed beforehand, simply because you guys are aware of all the packages and whatever you need to install. It does actually take a while to set up on whatever it is you're setting up. So I have, let's type clear. So I typed all of that. I'm inside a project that I created, a React Native project that I created called Awesome Project. So what we're going to do is run our iOS simulator. Alternatively, you can use the barcode here on your physical device, and you can actually use your physical device to run apps that you're trying to design in React Native. So while this loads, this actually does take some time. So while it loads, I'm asking you guys, what is your favorite text editor? Oh, sorry, I used to use text editors like in uni and everything. I could only get so far with them. I'm so lazy, man. Now I use a VS Code. So yeah, would you guys use?
Same. I've been using VS Code a lot of work. But work is like teaching me to get a bit more versatile. What are you going to say, Jamal, before I continue?
Same. That's what I'm using currently right now, and I like it. Visual Studio Code.
You were saying something before about your workplace, integrating packages, something like that.
So basically, because we're Salesforce partner, so what we do is that if you want to use your IDE, if you want to, so let's say, because we work with orgs now, so you have an org, and what you do is that you install a package, a Salesforce DX package on your Visual Studio Code, and then you use, then let's say you want to push that code into your org so you can see some changes. Then, so once you push it, you're going to see it in Visual Studio Code. So that's why, that's one of the ways that you can use, Visual Studio Code in whatever Salesforce work that you're doing. But sometimes I just use the developer console on the org, which is just basically it's on the org itself. You don't have to go through all the stress of going through Visual Studio Code and then logging in and being able to push directly to that org, like deploying all your source code to that org. But yeah.
Okay, that sounds complicated.
For anyone that's listening and working with Salesforce, that's just a little insight in the developer side.
the last thing that you brought up, Marvin, was being able to use the terminal command line to directly type code, and that is just wild. Hopefully, I get to that point.
Oh no, it's not that hard. Every term, well, at least everything that is either Mac or Linux based, well, Macs are to some extent Linux based or Unix based, has a inbuilt
I know, yeah.
you know, code editor, but it's like really easy to start up and get used to because it literally runs the exact same as you'd see on like a text editor. Just a text editor makes it look a bit more nice with a UI and whatnot, but it's pretty much the exact same. That being said, I don't really know about Windows actually having a CLI developer tool or text editor that you can just run, like boot up, because I know that you've got Nano and Vim, and it's actually called Vim or Vi on Unix Unix system. So yeah, it's very interesting. But sorry, Paul, continue.
All right, so this is what you would see when you're starting any React Native project. If you're looking at it on your physical device, you may see something a bit different, just literally something more visually pleasing, a presentational component maybe. So we're going to jump back into the code, wherever that is, and delete all this, and I'm just going to show you why I love working with React Native. So something I struggle with is talking alongside code, and I can't do both.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's when we're watching you that's the problem. I'm telling you, typing when someone is looking at you it will mess up your entire fingers. You can't type properly.
About typing out your thoughts. Why is this person looking at me as well?
Bro, some of the horror stories I've heard of people like just typing in subconsciously because they're given like a speech or something is it's wild. People type in some mad stuff into their like search terminal. You see the most wild stuff come out.
Oh.
I said what I said. You see this? Wow.
So I'll save that, and you should then see, well, I don't know if it's, the fast reload feature, which loaded at the bottom. So that's, again, something I love about React Native. Let me just move this closer to my actual code. And it's kind of out of view now, but you can actually see some text in the top left-hand corner. So let me go ahead and finish it. So as I said, this returns some JSX code, and now you will see me just type in a bit of CSS to get the styling.
Ew, I didn't catch this the first few times you did it. This is ew.
So we're going to say flex 1, which takes up all the content in the middle. I'm going to say align items.
Flexo.
I was so tempted to say it.
I felt it. I was like, okay. If you don't catch it, I will.
Now you can see my awesome project with the fast reload feature in the middle of our screens. So literally React Native and creating fast functional components. I just love it. I love everything about it. I have no complaints. If I can find where I'm at, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I think initially, back in uni times, I tried to work with Xcode, which Xcode is actually a prerequisite for using React Native, by the way. But I tried to do projects straight in Xcode and Swift and whatever it was at the time, and it was just a struggle. If you remember we did a challenge when we initially started, just based on our likes and dislikes, and I said like I dislike HTML. Just because syntax is just mad wrong and I'm too lazy for that. So I hope that demo then obviously reiterates my point of creating fast presentational components. Yeah, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Do you guys have anything to say? Any thoughts?
I've
It's
used, yeah,
amazing how.
okay, go on.
No, you first.
I've used React Native before. I've had a year, well, not a year, well, you could say a year experience, obviously final year. So I do vouch for the magnificence it brings and simplicity. It's very straightforward. Not going to lie. If you want to get into mobile app development, I'll say React Native. You know, there's tutorials out there that support and that will just help you get what you want.
Mm.
Fine.
And you, Marvin?
I was going to say something that people should start looking into if they do want to start doing web development or app development. Start looking into JavaScript. Because it does seem to be very much prominent. So when I started my workplace, they started showing us the use of JavaScript a lot more than we learned in uni, because uni just decided to shotgun blast us of everything they could and see if we stood up by the time we actually finished and got a diploma. So when they actually came to this workplace and they were like, okay, JavaScript is really where you're going to be going with it, I was like, okay, cool. But now you start seeing, when you're typing in your code, I was like, this looks very similar to some of the stuff I'm used to doing on a regular basis, that I just understood what you're trying to do. Probably minus some of the framework uses, but I was like, this is actually something I'm very much used to seeing, and it's very similar to like Angular, because it all seems to use Node. So it's like, okay, it's very similar to Angular and or Express. Well, obviously Express also uses JavaScript, but yeah, it's actually really cool, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you go back to where I would type in my import statements, import React from React, import Vue, style sheet, and text from React Native, those are actually the libraries available from the React Native framework. So going back to the point I was previously making, on, let's say, a new release comes out, something like dark mode, you actually then have to wait for the React team or whoever it may be to then release that feature. And then obviously you import that library and you set up whatever it is you have to set up to then get that feature onto your screens. I chose the dark mode example very specifically because if you go online and you hear like critique about React Native, some people would bring up that point very specifically, that you're always going to be behind native apps and native programmers. So I then went to do my own research just on the dark mode theme itself. And literally the React team, they're shocked. They reacted. They were 3 weeks behind to then release that dark mode feature. So, to me, it's a no-brainer in using native apps hybrid apps over native apps. But saying that, I am definitely going to go and try native apps so I can then have a whole rounded opinion based on that. Another thing that I actually do like is just the React Native community. There's bears online and the libraries themselves, very detailed. If I was to then go and develop that app further, I could add things like navigation. So again, using maybe Twitter as an example, if you could see when you load up the Twitter, you sign in, they've got the bottom tab navigator. So you got your home screen, your navigation, your notifications, your search, and your messages. That is something you can get from the React Native library. You've got your draw navigator when you click on your profile, and it comes out at like a draw would, and you've got all those settings there. So yeah, there's a lot. It's actually quite powerful, and considering it was only released in 2015, yeah, I love it.
You're loving it so far. I find it interesting. I was going to go somewhere else, but before we do, is there anything else that you want to show us or anything like that? Because it does look like it's fairly powerful. I haven't done like mobile development in ages. I've been mostly focused on web development. So is there anything else that you've been seeing?
I mean, that will come with time. Just give you guys, just a little bit. Obviously, I have to clear everything that I discuss with YouTube before I then go and take it onwards. So I haven't yet done that. So let me stop there.
Okay. I was going to ask you guys, like, just like somewhere in the same field. Obviously, we're now under a pandemic and we're locked inside. Have you noticed that some of the web apps that we use have been pushing a lot of updates and or a lot of developments recently? Like I've been using, obviously Instagram now has got, you can now reply to people's messages through Instagram on web and everything. So that's like an additional
is
thing.
it?
Essentially, yeah, bro. They went Paul. Okay, so we can cut
that
this
was
bit
how
out.
he was doing. Oh,
I was gonna say, if you want to cut this out, because when Paul's phone was like gone,
yeah.
and he was still replying to us, and we were like, Paul, what's going on? But he's replying through Instagram.
Duh.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird, but they've got that now, and then YouTube's now got the what's it? It's the miniature viewer. So the same way on your phone, if you use YouTube, you can slide down when you look at the video, right? And the video will just like minimize so you can continue scrolling and looking for content. There's like 3 updates I've noticed on YouTube. They've implemented the miniature viewer on website on the web side of it.
Yeah.
Right. They've also added a queue feature. So now if you're because I'm doing work from home, if you now go and you're looking at YouTube videos and you want to start queuing up everything, you can put it into a queue, and then what it will do is similar to how you'd have like a music playlist. It will then start putting everything in order and playing that, and it will create a mini queue that you can now start looking at. And then the third point is one that I've almost immediately forgotten, but I'll remember and I'll just blurt it out when it comes to me. But it's something else that I noticed. I was like, that's what it is. Okay, cool. If you have the Chrome viewer, right? The sorry, not Chrome viewer. What kind of nonsense? Chrome browser, guys.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten yet. Speak. If you have Chrome browser and you're playing like because I have Google Premium. It's not like a boast or anything, but that's why I use a lot of Google based apps. If you're playing a video and then you're playing like music or whatever, at the top right of the screen, what you'll see is the you'll be able to essentially control what's going on in that tab without going on to that tab. So wherever you are in the viewer, on the main toolbar, it will show what you're playing, and you can start it, stop it, go on to the next song, pretty much just through like one button click, and you can just quick scroll through like everything that you need to look through, and it just makes life like a ton. Bro, I clocked it and I was like, what is going on? And then like this was last week, right? I noticed it and I was like, this is. Oh, because we're in quarantine, a lot of people that are developing from home are developing a ton of stuff that we actually need to be working from home now. You know what I mean? So Instagram's now started upscaling. YouTube is now upscaling, like with not upscaling, but developing tons of stuff that we're going to start using.
So, on the flip side, do you feel like this quarantine? Well, no, I'm not going to say that. No, I can't say that. No, because
we can cut out the question.
No, I'm not gonna say it.
What I was gonna say is what's mad is one.
I'm sure the viewers probably could have told what I was gonna say, but
I know what question you're gonna ask. I'm gonna ask it anyway, and then we'll cut it out if we don't need it. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, one mad thing is that Instagram is made the front end at least by React Native. It's React Native based app. As well as Facebook, obviously released by Facebook. If you go into the Facebook marketplace, they've actually changed that a ton, and that was off the back of just developing React Native. So yeah, it's a very powerful for front end. You can then use other back end sort of are they frameworks? So stuff like maybe you got your Firebase, you've got you got all these PHP related I don't know what to call it.
Stuffs that we don't fully understand. We're still new in the game.
Database services, database services,
Nah, I know. Wait, the question I know Jamal was going to ask is, I think you're going to ask is, has coronavirus or the quarantine been good for those of us that are working from home or developing stuff like mobile apps? By the way, Paul, we can only see your face right now because you've just screen shared and we're just looking at you.
Oh, really? No. If you go on the top right and click...
Man, I was wrong.
Yeah. It's whoever speaks.
I sorted it.
Technology.
It's okay. I thought you were still sharing. I was like, why am I seeing two Pauls right now? But no, is that the question you were going to ask, Jamal?
It was along the lines, has it?
Along the lines of that.
Yeah.
I think that's a valid question to ask. I think having something like this happen it is terrible for the fact that people have lost their lives, and you're not like saying that we need this kind of thing to happen ever, because it's quite sad. But it's in, if you look at it on the positive side, you then start seeing that the boat we're in has leaks. It has holes in places and things that we haven't actually looked at. So now we're starting to see that, okay, cool. We have, okay, well, in America, that's a whole different kettle of fish. That's an entire different system. But now you're starting to see that maybe your GP is probably sending, I've been getting messages from my GP telling me that I can now do all my GP and everything, like all my stuff online. If I want to see my doctor or anything like that, I can have correspondence with him online. And I was like, wasn't this available before? And I don't know if it was, but now they're actually pushing it forward as something that can be checked out now online. Yeah, I mean, and it's like stuff like that, small stuff where they're like, okay, maybe if people can't exactly meet in the office, now we can actually have proper services that allow for the best interface and or platform for people to actually discuss and have proper meetings. Like, okay, Zoom isn't perfect, but we're now starting to see why Zoom isn't perfect to use, because people are now starting to look into it. Maybe, ironically, we're using Zoom. We're not bashing Zoom. I am not bashing Zoom. Please, Zoom, do not come for me. But everybody's starting to find like certain errors or maybe problems with security. And it's one of the things where you can now find the problems to then reinforce or build on what is there available right now.
Based on that, do you think there's a conversation to be had just on, let's say, like the amount of money that these companies are saving maybe on
boy?
Yeah, do you think there's a conversation to be had on working from home in the future?
Bro, yeah. Yes. These companies are saving money.
Yes.
They are making bank. I'm gonna ask my boss. I should ask my boss, because I'm pretty sure my boss is gonna be like, because we normally work in the office like very frequently. They want us in the office like to work and have synergy and all of that. I'm talking a lot. Jamal, before I continue, were you gonna say anything? I'm sorry.
Say what you.
I'm talking bears.
Absolutely.
No. But it's think about it. Not everybody's working in the office. They don't have to pay bills for people to go into the office. They don't have to pay for light. They don't have to pay for excessively for water. They don't have to pay for electricity, security guards, anything like that. Admin, they don't have to really pay. You're the one that's paying now to have office in your house. So at that point, the only thing they have to worry about is output and how much productivity they're gonna get out of you. Yeah, I mean, but if you want to keep your job, you're gonna continue working. So if you want to get paid, you're going to continue working. You're going to have show something. Those that aren't doing their job work, if they weren't doing it at home, they weren't doing it in the workplace, they're going to have to let them go. You know what I mean? So there's the companies in some ways are winning.
I think some people that I've spoken to are kind of concerned with, like you said, their productivity, their output. But when you then consider it, you take it back into the actual workplace, you may have more meetings, it may have more breaks. So just based on the levels of productivity, I don't think there is too much of a disparity between working from home and working in the office. However, a good point you did raise, which I didn't consider, is actually the synergy. Like, of course, you could be on, like we are, on Zoom with your colleagues while you are working, while you are programming, or whatever it may be. But I think having that office feel, getting out of your home for one, getting out of your comfort zone, you're in the office, that you're just there to work.
That's it.
It's hit and miss, but I do definitely think that more companies should adopt maybe a policy just to work from home, like a couple times a week, a couple times a month.
I think it makes more sense a couple times a week.
Couple times.
Sorry, Jamal?
No, you do have a fair point about working, like, pushing out that policy, working from home, like a couple times a month,
I think it was Idris Elba, a man from the same country that I am. So let me just
we know,
say that we know.
Big up Sierra Leone.
When this guy wants to talk about iPhone, he will throw me under the bus. No. Without any hesitation, he'll kill me. But me, I want to talk about Idris Elba. Let me land. Anyway. But he did like at some point was it a couple of weeks ago say that as we should all be doing like quarantine like this kind of period at least.
Oh, he got slandered for that statement, you know.
He got what for that statement?
As in, like, yeah, as in he got bashed for it. He got backlash for it.
What did he say? Sorry, finish.
He said that.
Yeah.
Not verbatim. I can't say verbatim. I don't know. What was it that he said specifically? Because Jamal knows, or at least
Basically said how. I think he said every year. I'm not sure if it's every year or every year we should have a week where, you know, the whole world just works from home. Like how we are right now, we should just do that to you know, like when you like commemorate. That's the word. Commemorate.
Oh, I see. So just in remembrance of
remembrance. Yeah.
Why is that such a mad thing to say? Why did he get attacked for that?
That's what I'm about to ask. Why did he get attacked for it?
Because who wants to be working? I guess so. For those people that are complaining, they don't want to be working at home. They want to be free. They want to go out. You get what I'm saying? They don't want to be laws like this.
Okay. Let me look at it this way, right? For those of us that possibly, maybe have to travel far into London and pay a ticket for however many weeks a year, I'm just thinking, maybe, don't attack me, hey, just share of ideas. Possibly.
Yeah, go on.
Possibly, what if you just stayed at home and not have to pay for travel, for food that day? You don't have to worry excessively. Pull breathe. Come back. You don't have to think about any. You just get up, you work, you chill, right? You don't have to go too far. It's good, right? I'm just looking at it from the monetary standpoint. If I had to work from home, then again, I don't pay bills. Let me actually just think about it properly.
I do definitely think there's a case study to be made, though.
Yeah, because I feel like,
and I feel like it's a valid, you know, debatable.
It's a debatable point. Like, you don't have to go into work. How about a week of you don't have to go into work? You can if you want to. It's not a must.
No one's gonna do it. I said if you can. If it's,
I mean, it's either that or you increase the NHS wages.
Is it that or what?
Huh?
Increase.
I said it's either that or you increase the NHS wages in commemoration.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Okay, time out. That's a separate discussion. That's a separate discussion. We it's not either or. There's no either or. Raise the NHS wages. Full stop. Just do it.
Yeah.
There is no. If someone is working for anything that requires our health to be on point, they need more money. I don't care.
Facts.
Simple. There's no two ways about it. Now, when it comes, Jamal, you said, sorry, Paul, we've taken this off onto one whole tangent, and we've got 3 minutes before this thing cuts. But what were you about to say that nobody would do it? As in, what, nobody would go into office? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I was trying to say was that if you give the people, you can if you want, you know, most people will go out. You get
for 1 week. For 1 week, you don't have to go in.
I feel like there will be a divide. Like for me, I'll stay in, but I know some people will go into work, innit?
Okay, because I'm more on the side that I'll just be like, I'm staying out. That's a week's worth of traveling, food out. I'm chilling.
Out of the whole 365, it's calm, man.
Just 1 week. Calm. During that week, don't quote me on this. I may not necessarily do it, but if I so happen to accidentally appear in a different country, and my laptop is there with me,
I am
dead. But that's not the subject.
I am dead.
Where you at? I might just be in Ibiza, but I'm still working. We don't need to talk about it.
I am so dead.
I'm doing it, bro.
But the thing is that if you want to commemorate, fam, that's how you know I need to eat, man.
Bro, it's okay.
If you want to
come
do that,
back.
you have to enforce it. You have to enforce it. You can't just give
It'll be
people, you
enforced.
can if you want. If you
Nah.
want to appreciate what's going on, not appreciate, but like,
Oh, commemorate.
Yeah, commemorate what's going on right now. Then you have to do put it out,
bro.
Yo, everyone should work from
No.
home. Boom.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Everybody. No, but I feel like you can say everybody should work from home regardless. You can say if you want to, you can work from home. You don't have to. I would say, logically, you can go into the office, but it's not necessary. People, it's just for 1 week.
Okay.
1 week, right? There's 52. Is it 52 weeks in a year? There's 52 weeks in a year, right? For one of them, a total of 120, 7 hours. No, I'm wrong.
Gotta be wrong.
24 times 7. Anyway, however many hours, I'm going to like one yam when someone comes to come and tell me how many hours there are. They've got in the calculator.
No, on the other hand, right, what do you do about, let's say the cleaners that have to come in to clean the offices, them taking a week off work?
Okay, so for people like that.
So
okay, yeah.
There definitely should be a case study going into it, but just based on how it's actually going to work.
That's a very valid point because people still need to get paid on that kind of front. And even then, people that do those kind of jobs even need to get paid a bit more. Like, it's not that like we're going to try and make people aspire to be like in those roles, but if you're going to do those roles, they're key. They are key to being in our kind of jobs as well. Like, full stop. Wow. I didn't actually think about that. I was really thinking about that. Was really selfish of me. Hey, you learn.
Oh my man.
That's a good place to leave it at.
All right.